boom, boom, boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. You gotta come on.
Good morning, YouTubers. Well, you see that sign in the back? You remember when we were here before? What is this called? The Steel Shop Athletic Event. Now, the reason it says Steel Shop is, if you remember from last time, this is part of St. Louis Car Foundry Company. And this is the last building. This is where they used to put the vehicle or the cars together with the overhang crane and all that we pictured. So we're here again this year, and this is their Comic-Con type situation. Now don't go away. It's not a train show, I know that. But remember on Let's Learn Things, we learn about a lot of things, including crackhead prices. You're going to see some of those today too. But we're here. We're going to go through it. It starts at 10, and I think I don't even know what time it is. But the sun's up, and usually when you see me, there's no sun, but there is today. So we're going to go through here today and take a look at this. This is the second time that I've been here, and well, we'll just see what happens. So while you come to these places early, I just learned something. This place not only was the St. Louis Car Foundry facility to make cars, but Boeing was in here at one time, and they used this facility to build parts of airplanes and such. And in World War II, this was actually a tank facility. And you see these doors? Let me show you these doors. See this door? That's where they drove the tanks in and out of, is those doors there. And they have extra doors here. But that's why you come here early, to learn things historically. This is St. Louis. This is, where we're in St. Charles, Missouri. And so this is where they used to build tanks. And this facility is not that big, so they were probably finishing up some or whatever, or they moved them down here from up top, because remember, this facility runs the entire area down here. So this is really a historical building. This actually still works too. You see this? That's the crane. The crane that went on these tracks that went up and down. This actually still works. Everything in here still works. Well, let's just hope we don't have to use it for war things, but this is ready to go. This facility could easily be put back into operation. I was also told about these windows. I got a window here, but all these here, the city government says you can't unlock those. It has to remain historical. So those windows have to remain closed. Otherwise, you could have quite a bit of light in here. But they just have to go with the light that they got. These are LEDs, though, that are set up here, so it's pretty bright. But wow, what a historical building that this show is in. How you doing?
Recording everything?
Yep, cover all the shows. that's going to do it for this show this time this year. They got another one in October we'll probably be at. Just letting you know that the parking lot around here is completely full. There's people everywhere, as you saw inside in here. They've got one heck of a turnout here, and I'll tell you what, there was money exchanging hands in here. I only bought a couple of things, but not very much. But I saw people spending big bucks over here. So that's going to do it for Let's Learn Things here, and you need to come over and see this show, and you better bring a lot of money. That'll do it for this segment of Let's Learn Things. This is at the Steel Shop Athletic and Event. This is their Comic-Con show. See you next time. So for this segment of Let's Learn Things, well, we're in the modeler's corner again, and I've decided that for the prototype show I'm going to do coral quartz, and I found these on the internet. This is a 3D print, and so I went ahead and printed all that out. I even got the office part. Even got the office building, but I can't find any site plans to see what that looks like. But you can see this at the Museum of Transport in Missouri, our biggest one there, and I'm doing the top one and not the bottom one. I'm doing the B units because these are A units. And I've got all kinds of material there that shows you how to do it and whatever. So I decided that I'd start printing. And I don't know who designed this, but I'm into some really intricate work here that is just taking forever. Alright, so here's what we end up having to do. In the plans, it says this part here, you're going to need 3, and so that's the same on the other side. But here's what happens when you actually get into this, okay? And now I found out that you need more than 3, okay? I don't even know what the number, I haven't even counted the levels here of where to get to and whatever, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. So you take these off. This has to be done in halves because your plate, that's not big enough, okay? Your plate, which is that thing you print on, is not big enough to handle that. So you have to do them by cutting and do 1/2 and do 1/2. Okay? So this told me that it needs 3, but as I started counting layers, I soon found out that no, you're needing more than 3. You're probably needing somewhere in the neighborhood of 5. Somewhere in there. Okay? And then of course you're going to have this middle portion that has to be done. And that's even more. So this is what I'm into now, and this is turning into a real nightmare. You can't believe what I'm looking at. So I'll try to keep you in the loop here. I'm just hoping I get this done for the prototype show, because this is crazy. Okay, here is the brown. I'm using Ace Rust Stop, and it is leather brown satin. So that's going to be the browns that are on this. So there's 2 there. And then we'll have 3 because we're doing this one. This is the B unit. And these are found on the internet. You just type in coral quartz. Here are my others that have been made. And when I was making these, I also found out that, and I should have known this in the beginning, that this one can be turned over to be this one. And I was doing 2 at a time, and that was dumb. So, but that's what we've got so far, and that's what we're working on right now. For this segment, Let's Learn Things, well, it's the modeler's corner again, and I don't know, doesn't everybody's corner look like this? Just full of stuff that we're building and putting together and all that. Isn't that right? I don't know. Ooh, battery doesn't look good. So let's put some of this off to the side so we can see what we're going to be talking about here. A lot of you know that I'm going to the prototype show in July, and one of my things that I'm going to be displaying is coral quartz. Now, this is the office. This I have pretty well got, okay? It needs some more, but I was looking at this. You have to understand something about these STL print files that are in the 3D. They don't come out correctly, and this is what happens. This is not plastic that you can cut with your X-Acto knife. Okay, this is very, very hard plastic. So I was trying to figure out what can I get that might allow me to cut this stuff. And I remember Ken Patterson came up with an idea, and I saw it. He took his, what is welding? Your soldering iron? And he had wrapped with wire a number 11 blade on it. And sure enough, the blade got hot enough that he could work with it. Well, look what I found. We're going to open this up and see what this is. So this little thing about right here, and I know that the lighting is not very good in here, okay, but this is, looks like a satellite dish, and then the beginning of the knife, and that just, it slips right in there. So it can't, you know, it can't fall off or anything like that. So that's heating up. I don't know how fast, but we'll find out. Okay, so I took some paste out, and I thought, well, let's just try it that way. Well, I do see some liquid on it. Yeah, I can smell it. I don't think it gets real hot. Okay, let's come out here a little bit. And what I'm needing to do is cut away enough to through rather easily. That does. Well, it just doesn't appear. It's real hot at the very end of it. It's pretty hot at the bottom of it. Well, I actually think this is working. Stays, the plastic stays on the blade though. Melts on the blade. But I think it is working. Now, what I'm going to end up having to do is probably not on this one because this STL file did not work correctly whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this one and I'm just going to, by the cut method, I'm going to cut out some blocks, square blocks of that, and then I can cut it up and insert it into here and fix this because this just didn't work. So, you know what, for $9.95, I don't think this is a bad deal. Okay, it did what it was supposed to do. It did cut out all the bad parts. Got the windows a little bit too. There was a window down at this end, had to be cut. And then it's got a little on the front to do there. But now I gotta go print these so I can start cutting and put this thing back together. It was just a bad STL file. Did this file and that file were in the same. I don't know what happened here because that one worked perfectly, but not this one. Hey, new segment for Let's Learn Things. All right, we're at Flora Central. That's that railroad Bob Flora built. I'm at a train sale. Let's go look at the layout. Oh, this is more than a layout. This is a real train. And he's expanding. Look at this. Hey, buddy. he bought the piece of property, and this is going to be the expansion area. This is the roadbed for it. Goes way over there. We're still moving a lot of rock. Got to put in drainage. All this will have to be flattened. This is the big outside loop. This is where the track goes, and then that goes up to a well, I think that's a walk around. I don't think that's a track area. Might be. Let's go to around here. Oh yeah, that is a track area. That is going to be an add-on. Come out from that area into this. Come down here. Now there's that bear we keep hearing about. No, it's not. That's somebody else's property. So I don't know what that's going to be. Maybe it's going to be their station. That'll go into a switch.